5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Morning, hippies. Buenos dias. Paz and el barrios. The cookie for today is scandal. In an article that lowers the presidential achievement bar to ever more ridiculous levels, the fawning, fatuous, ever obsequious, obotic opologist Jno-bot Alter last week joyfully proclaimed the miracle of the Obamanista regime's moral purity, preemptively declaring it to be sin-free and without scandal. What Alter meant, of course, was that the Obots had so far managed to conduct themselves without the taint of salacious rumor or the embarrassing DNA spots on the odd young female intern's simple blue dress. I guess scandal, like beauty, is a matter of taste, 'cause no ShamWow hasn't been discovered dipping his wick in some willing intern, but what would you call peremptorily assassinating a U.S. citizen abroad without trial and by remote control, if not a scandal? What about renewing the Bush tax breaks for the wealthy? No scandal? What about the wholesale, full-scale frontal attacks on Social Security and Medicare? No scandal? For whom would these not be a scandal, except for America's first black president? How about the scandal of unconstitutionally empowering a super, we're really going to screw you up, debt deficit commission? Isn't it scandalous to be planning for and promoting more nuclear plants, even in the light, or perhaps I should say the glow, of the Fukushima disaster in Japan? Isn't it a scandal that there are 20 million willing workers in America who cannot find jobs? And with stratospheric unemployment, what do you call 3 new free trade agreements? I'd call it the return of the gigantic sucking sound of user jobs flying offshore, but that's not a scandal, is it? No. Shall I go on? I'd call it a scandal that he twice extended and once strengthened the so-called Patriot Act, which during the campaign he said he meant to soften. Does no scandal attach to putting back in charge of the economy those very same cretinous, moronic, imbecilic assholes who totally fucked it up the first time? Summers, Gaithner, Bernanke. Is there nothing even a little bit stinky about them? Is there no scandal in abandoning his labor constituency? How about stonewalling the EFCA, the Employee Free Choice Act, for workers who want to organize their workplaces? Labor requires a supportive state to face down the greed heads and other buttfucks in the boardrooms. But St. Barry's no friend of the working man, I can tell you. Wouldn't it make you blush if you'd allowed secret domestic surveillance or hadn't restored the principle of habeas corpus even though you were a constitutional fucking law professor and president of the United States? Not St. Barry, apparently. Nope, no scandal there. What about if you didn't back your own environmental protection agency on mountaintop removal or clean air and water regulations on industrial polluters? Scandal? No, nothing to see here, folks. Move along, move along. I guess there's no scandal in the murderous drone attacks which kill hundreds of innocent civilians, along with, accordingly, selected targets thousands of miles away in 6 different African and Central Asian sovereign nations. Nah, nothing important happening here, folks. Keep it moving. Maybe you've noticed the promised restoration of the Superfund cleanup tax on the polluters hasn't materialized again yet either, huh? PolitiFact called that a promise broken, but hey, what's another broken promise anyway? There's so many. Oh, and by the way, there's a major issue with Obama's mortgage modification plan. That was the plan they touted last week, along with federalizing the interest on student loans that was supposed to help working stiffs, remember? In the fine print, one discovers that if the borrowers had one single delinquent payment in the life of the mortgage, they're disqualified. Shut out. No, really. Ah, but you say, there haven't been any blowjobs in the executive office, have there, hippies? No cum stains on the carpet, so 3 rousing cheers for that, I guess. Grab your megaphones. We'll sing a couple of congratulatory choruses when I see you at the beach.